Knicks, fourth quarters since week 4, Mark, it's like veteran numbers.
Yeah.
That's often trailing. Everybody's seen your best stuff.
No doubt.
It's a whole different ball. You can have an offensive lineman that gets dinged up in the second quarter. You could have, some of your sets are not running. You don't have the personnel. That to me just seems really impressive. It's not that he's good. I could see if his first 12 plays he was money. He's better in the fourth. Yeah. What does that tell you?
Well, I don't think last night is their ideal formula for winning, right? Every once in a while, you'd probably try and limit it to, 5 or less games a year, hopefully 2 to 3. If you get in a shootout, okay, we'll kind of adapt to that situation and we're going to have to put it up 40 times. But you look at the attempts per game for Bo Nix, and they obviously trust him. And Shawn Payton is riding that fine line. He's walking a tightrope of developing the quarterback and winning this year without letting the quarterback screw it up, right? A rookie quarterback, which can happen. I've been there, dude. It's hard. You go through a rut, you go through some bad games, and you're the reason you're losing some of these games. It's frustrating for everybody. So he's riding that wave and that momentum. I think he's done an excellent job of, yes, last night they're going to have to put the ball downfield like we're seeing on a lot of these clips.
Yeah.
But of his 30-plus attempts per game, whatever he's at, he's right around there. I'd say 10 of those are almost no-brainer kind of screens to the halfback, to the tight end, tunnel screens to the wide receiver, bubble throws out on the perimeter, which are essentially an extension of the run game. And those should be high completion percentage, momentum builders for the quarterback, confidence builders for the quarterback. So he gives him so many of those. And he sat in this chair and told you, I don't want my quarterback flying the Top Gun mission at the end of the movie to save the world from nuclear destruction every single play, because it's exhausting. And you definitely don't want to do it with a rookie quarterback. So I think he's done a great job of taking that pressure off him, giving him easy completions, and then relying on the defense. The defense didn't play great last night, but they got away with the win. Winning when you're not playing well or don't play to your strength or you're not totally on track formula-wise, that's a huge, huge confidence builder, especially going into their bye week. So this team's going to be dangerous, and I'm impressed that Shawn Payton has this much trust and gives Bo Nix such a long leash.
Yeah, I think Mark brought up a few really, really great points. And, Colin as well. And just as kind of, when you're playing this well in the fourth quarter, right? Like earlier on in the in the first half and whatnot, some of those players are scripted. They know exactly what they're going to do. Everyone's really, really well prepared in terms of like what you're trying to do. And in the second half, it's really kind of like, all right, let's see what we got. This is where it's where you really find out, what type of team are you? What can you do? Where are the players? How good are you? And to see what Bo Nix has been able to do as a rookie, I mean, again, watch those highlights. Of course, it's impossible. But just watch the highlights that we're already showing throughout this clip. Like, you have zero sense that's a rookie quarterback. If you were just looking at those highlights and you had no idea, you would say those are like some of the best plays you've been watching all year. I mean, like, he is just playing such beautiful ball. And here's the thing. I'm constantly trying to figure out and reassess why sometimes you see these backup quarterbacks, because we see enough backup quarterbacks throughout the NFL, why they can have such great games, great plays. Because, again, we can look at highlights of Minshew and Fitzpatrick and, like a Nick Foles, any of these quarterbacks throughout the years who obviously never really truly reached top levels. And they have stretches, games, halves, quarters, drives where they look special. You can't deny it. And I always try to figure out, okay, well, why is this happening? What's happening? And sometimes it's just because, well, they can do it. They're obviously clearly can do it. They just can't do it consistent enough. And sometimes they make great plays or great throws, but it's almost like they got away with one, right? It's like driving on a freeway and you pass another car and you did it really tight window. You made a mistake. You shouldn't have done it. You got by. Luckily there was no accident or anything like that. But you know what? It was really fortunate that there wasn't, because you know what? You're not that good of a driver. Sorry to break the news to you. You're not that good. You're not an F1 driver. But if we just looked at the highlight, had no idea, we would say, oh my God, look at that vision. Look how he was able to change lanes at the perfect time with another car. He knew that he was going 80 while the other car was going exactly 78. And if that car was going 79, it was going to be a collision, but not, we could look at it. And so then why it's really trying to figure out, on the field when a situation like that is happening. And that's when it really kind of goes by kind of this feel, where sometimes you see a lot of these quarterbacks who are just not that good, but still have some great highlights. You can watch and you can really feel like, man, that dude was just letting it rip because he had nothing else to do, didn't know what else to do. He just did it. It was a great catch. It was a great throw. Don't know if it was the best read. Don't even know if it was even the best decision. It was kind of like, hey, man, I got legs. I got an arm. I got some eyes. I'm wearing a helmet and the jersey. I guess that's mine on the back. I got to do something, and I'm just going to let it rip. And that's not what you see in Bo Nix. What you see when Bo Nix is like, everything is so intentional. And that's what I've been saying so much about him. It's just intentional. Those big time throws, when he's moving around in the pocket, and I know Troy Aikman pointed out last game that he was moving around a little bit more than he needed to a degree. I think that was more, that was less the norm than it was indeed the norm. But again, he's still obviously growing. He just looks so intentional, comfortable, and confident. And that's why I keep saying, like, it screams, it jumps off the screen for me. That's why you heard me. Those were real reactions that I was giving when I was watching those highlights, when I was like, oh my God. Because it is. I find it genuinely as a thing of beauty. I mean, I love sports, obviously, and I'm sure you guys love sports too. But like when I watch great football, great game, I am actually a snob for high quality play. I'm not always just about wins. I'm not. I'm a snob for high quality ball. And I do not assume everything is great. Just because I see a football player make a diving catch or one-handed catch, I'm like, okay, cool. Lots of people can do that. Okay, great. That happens like literally every game now. Like it's not even just like great athletic feats either. Because again, proportionately, you can have high schoolers do that. Maybe not as strong, as fast, as jump, but proportionally to their level, they're doing the same things. You can literally watch 15-year-olds do some of the things that you see in a lot of NFL games. Again, it's obviously at proportionally at a higher rate, again, because they're bigger, stronger, faster, but they're still doing it. So again, it's like when you can see truly fundamental, high quality ball, like you can just, you feel it in your bones, man. You feel it in your bones. I don't mean to be weird, but you just do. And like that's just what that's the sense that I get from watching Bo Nix play. And it's crazy because I went into this season a big Bo Nix proponent, right? I was making all these videos, and this is not me like doing any type of victory lap. But I was like definitely like on the Bo Nix train, and I kept saying like, oh, why is everyone talking about him being so bad? Yada yada yada. And listen, I'm not gonna act like I've watched every single college game he's ever played. I'm not that type of person. I'm not digging that deep into it all. But it was just of what I did see of him. I was like, I believe this is gonna work. He's going to the Broncos. He's got Shawn Payton. Shawn Payton wants him. Quite frankly, the fact that Shawn wants him is all. And that even if I had an opinion that I don't think he really looked that good in college, the fact that Shawn wants him, then you know what? His opinion is gonna go over top of me. Like I trust his eyes way better than mine, right? And then a couple of these other guys who I really trust and appreciate and value their opinion as well. But now that I'm watching even more deeply and keep watching and watching and watching, it's like I find myself only actually thinking that he is better and better and better than I even thought going into this season and what he's capable of doing. And that's why I think I may have said this before, like at this point, like I would actually be shocked if we don't say that Bo Nix is a great quarterback. That if when we're 2-3 years from now, when we're ultimately having the same conversation that we have every single season, who's the best top 5 quarterbacks? Who would you rather have, Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson? I mean, we have those conversations literally like every single week, and especially in the offseason, it's just endless. And who's a great quarterback? Who's a good quarterback? Who's an elite quarterback? I would be absolutely blown away, and it would really make me have to kind of reflect on my own opinions and how firm and strong. Like I would be shook if we do not say that Bo Nix is a great quarterback. If that turns out to not be the case, it would genuinely make me moving forward to be like, you know what? I'm not going to come in as hard as I did before some of my opinions. I'm gonna like pull back a little bit because I already am kind of lukewarm on a lot because I am not the big hot take guy, but like I've obviously come in hard on all of this, and I would genuinely have to be like, all right, I thought I saw something maybe that I didn't. Why? And I would look back and think, why was I misled? How was I confused? Where was my logic wrong? Who was I listening to that I shouldn't have? Is this just the way it goes? It would really bug me. I would really have to figure it out because I wouldn't want it to happen again. That's how I am, right? Like I've told you guys this before. Like I am I need the logic to make sense. I need the 1 + 1 = 2, even though that's not how football works. Like I still need a semblance of it. And just the more I watch of Bo Nix is just like, and it's crazy to me. I actually genuinely see special. And when I first started making videos about Bo Nix, like in, what was it, probably like March, April, May, June, right? Like, around the draft and after he was drafted, I kept making videos. And a part of me was kind of like, all right, I do believe in this, but like, am I kind of being influenced by kind of the fans and the views? Because a lot of people are like, yeah, Bo Nix. And I remember a lot of Denver Broncos fans were like, oh man, you're so smart, you know so much about football. And I'm like, I was thinking to myself, like, are you just saying that because like I'm saying positive things about Bo Nix? And I started to think, like, do I really believe this? Have I fallen prey to me being influenced in trying to say what these other people want me to say, and which I'm very much against. And I was like, am I doing it? And I'm like, no, I don't think I am. And that's why in this moment, I'm like, I'm saying all this and I'm going all in on it. And that's why, like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, you better be right. Like, you better be right. Because, man, if you're wrong a year from now, 2 years from now, we'll find this video and it's going to be as bad as Colin saying, we don't need LeBron James anymore. We got Ben Simmons. Like, I still see that video pop around, like, honestly, more regular than it should, because everyone's going to have a bad take. Everyone's going to have many bad takes. When you share all of your takes, out there in the world every single day, you're guaranteed to have some of the worst takes you could ever imagine. It's a guarantee. And it's just like, that's why I don't, but in this moment, I don't feel that that's even possible. Like, I really don't feel that it's possible. So that I'm not even like leaving the door open. Normally I'll say, yeah, I think he could be great. You never know. Like, I'd leave the door open, but I'm not even leaving the door open for that. Because I literally can't see how he's just not great. And again, what I am not saying is, I'm not saying he's going to be a top 5 Hall of Famer of all time. Like, those I'm not saying, because I don't have any idea, and I don't want to pretend like I do. But I just can't see it, how we're not talking about, constantly when we're trying to rank top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. Like, I just can't see how he's not, in that category. Or at the very least, people are fighting, he better be in there. And then the haters are like, no, he's not. Like, at least it's like, well, it's not like a guarantee of like, well, we know he's not that, right? Like, it just can't be. At a minimum, it has to be the discussion where people are like, truly like, yes, he is. And when people say, no, he's not, you're like, you're a hater. Like, that has to be the floor of the conversation that people are having with Bo Nix. So I'm just excited to see where this unfolds. And yeah, that's why I hope the Broncos can get a little lucky with seeding in the playoffs. Either way, they're most likely, I mean, again, it's hard to say, but most likely the 7th seed, which means they're going to be either playing the Chiefs or the Bills, which is obviously going to be a brutally tough game, even if it is against the Chiefs, even though I've said I think that the Broncos can actually legitimately beat the Chiefs come playoff time. I think the Bills would be significantly harder because of kind of what they're able to do. But quite frankly, the Chiefs, especially if they get healthy at the right time, if Hollywood Brown is able to get integrated to that offense, that could be even harder and makes it obviously harder for the Broncos. But yeah, I would not be surprised if the Broncos do something very special this year with Bo Nix. I would not be surprised. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos? Are you surprised how well the rookie quarterback is playing, or did you expect this from day one? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.